I just think it is a gorgeous, dramatic piece. And if you hadn't noticed, I can sometimes be a little bit dramatic. Hello, 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 and the warmest of welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those of you who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 2 to 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrate yourself, and of course, celebrating others. So, today I'm here to talk to you about a piece I just can't get out of my head, and I have had it in my head for 10 years, 11 years. Hi, baby girl. Hi. Come on. Let's see what she decides to do. So I've had this piece in my head for a long time. Oh, there she is. There's the princess. Hello. You going up there? Okay. Okay. So I've had this in my head for a while. But before we get into that piece, let me show you a bag of the day. I have been using my yellow Prada Saffiano Luxe tote that I have been absolutely loving. It's gorgeous and it's so full of my stuff. It has an A4 notebook. It has a 14-inch laptop, a long wallet, a charger, multiple phones, car keys, my cosmetics case, like so much stuff in here. I mean, if you ask me to be able to fish my car keys out in 10 seconds, it's not happening. They are buried in here deep. But this is such a gorgeous, gorgeous bag, and I'm loving, loving using it. Right, just gonna rescue the cat. Okay, Poppy successfully rescued and now back in her bed down here. So I don't know why she does that. Every time it's the same outcome. It's the I can get up, but I can't figure out how to get down. Anyone else's cats do that? Well, just mine. Anyway, what is the piece that I've been obsessed with? It is a piece that I have talked about fairly frequently. I saw one a good sort of year or two ago that I was very interested in buying, and I talked to you about why I didn't buy it in the end. And then sort of stopped hunting for a while, and now I'm very much back on it, and I think it has to be my next purchase. What am I talking about? I am talking about the Celine Phantom. I know. I have mentioned the Celine Phantom many times. I love the Celine Phantom. I absolutely love it. I think it is beautiful. I love that era of Celine, that Phoebe Philo era of Celine, I think was absolutely phenomenal. I'm glad to see that Celine has a lot of popularity now because I think some of the pieces are really fantastic. Nothing that I would personally want to put my money into, but I think they're great. Had I been in the market for luxury whilst Phoebe Philo was designing for Celine, I probably would have bought a few pieces because I think they are really stunning. But luckily, we have a fantastic, fantastic pre-loved market, and Celine doesn't hold its value very well, so you can do quite well. And there's a fair few of those pieces available for a number of different reasons. Now, I love the Phantom. I love the winged aesthetic. It comes in fabrics, it comes in leather. I just think it is a gorgeous, dramatic piece. And if you hadn't noticed, I can sometimes be a little bit dramatic. I know it's a shock. I know you probably weren't expecting me to say that, but I can be a little bit dramatic. I enjoy being a little bit dramatic from time to time. Hence my I amuse myself t-shirt. I do. I find myself very funny. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Or am I? Anyway, I really love this piece. I love the fact, weirdly, it looks more capacious than it is. Because it has a big sort of winged aesthetic, you get this perception that it's a massive bag. And it is a fairly sizable bag, don't get me wrong, but it's not as big as it looks. When the sort of sides are tucked in, yes, come here. Oh, there you go. When the sides are tucked in, it is actually not the biggest. It's probably a medium-sized bag, but it's got this sort of larger look to it, which I enjoy. I like that winged aesthetic. You see that in a number of my pieces. I like it, for example, when someone has a Birkin, like a big Birkin, and it's beautiful when it's tucked in, but I do like it when it's open at the sides. I think that looks really nice, and it just looks more dramatic and more effective in some ways. So I do enjoy that. I'm the same with something like the totes. I like it when the tote is really sort of out and winged and opposed to being cinched and poppered, and an example would be this one. You know, I can open it out, that's how I prefer to carry it, versus it being poppered in. So it's just personal preference and aesthetic, but I love it. So why haven't I bought one yet? I couldn't afford one when they first launched. I wasn't in the market for luxury. I certainly couldn't afford one when they first launched. You know, even now, if they were to come out new at the price point that they were at, you know, it's a very expensive bag. And as I said, I'm a volume player, so I like to have 3 or 4 bags for the price of what one more expensive one might cost me. And I love the pre-loved market and outlets, etc., because again, you can work on variety and volume. So I couldn't afford it at the time. I then sort of wasn't in the market. Then probably 5 or 6 years ago, I started buying sort of more high-end stuff. I wasn't really into bags at that point. Then come sort of 2020, I started buying bags a lot more, and really finding my style when it came to bags. But I've always loved the Celine, and I've always enjoyed watching videos on it and people talking about it. And when it came to it, I was looking for a bag probably early to mid last year, and it was for a professional achievement, which I said, when I achieve this, I am going to buy this piece. It looked like it was going to happen, and then it didn't. And that, unfortunately, skewed how I then looked at the bag. So it didn't happen. I was aware that it didn't happen. And then I went to London with Steph and had a fabulous day with the fantastic Steph from the channel Handbagholic. Amazing individual. And we were at Luxury Promise at the showroom I was trying on this yellow Celine Phantom, and I just felt so disconnected from it because I was disappointed at the fact that I had this reason that I wanted to buy it. I didn't love that version of it, I'll be honest. It felt a little cheap, so that wasn't the right version. But I still felt so disconnected from the bag because I'd associated it with this thing that I was saying, wow, when that happens, I'm going to buy it. Now, the thing has happened since. I didn't buy this piece. I bought something else instead. I actually bought my, what did I buy? Was it my Gucci tote? I think I bought instead, which I'm very happy with. That's a great bag. But I associated it. And for a long time, I associated the Celine with that feeling of disappointment. And I kind of said, look, I'm just going to strike it off my list. It's not as practical. It can get heavy. You know, practicality is important for me. I had in my mind it can get heavy, as though my other bags don't get heavy. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people sell them, because they get very heavy, especially the all leather versions. Big bag, can fill it quite significantly. Plus it's got a lot of leather on it. It's quite a heavy piece, but that wouldn't bother me particularly. I'm used to carrying bigger bags, leather bags. So I just had this weird association with it. But the more I've been seeing them, the more I've been thinking about it. And I saw one the other day. I was on the Amazon luxury section having a look, because through Amazon you can buy from Hardly Ever Worn It. And there was this navy blue striped Celine Phantom in a fabric. I loved it. I loved it. £880, something like that. To say that I am tempted is an understatement. Navy and white stripes probably isn't the right one for me. But I do love it. I think it's great. But would I use it that often? I don't think I would. I actually don't think I would. So I have to be sensible here, and I have to remind myself of who I am and my style. I would prefer to have one in a bright colour or a neutral. Like, I would absolutely love one in white. I think that'd be amazing. I would love that. I wouldn't you know, care for one in black. I've got my Mulberry Bayswater, which I think does the same thing. If I didn't have the Bayswater, I would absolutely go for one in black because I think it's beautiful, or a bright colour. I was open to the fabrics, but now having seen the yellow fabric, it looked cheap. And there was a white one available in fabric on maybe Handbag Clinic or something like that, but again, it looked cheap. And these aren't cheap bags. These, even pre-loved, are expensive bags because they were expensive to begin with. You know, 3 and a bit thousand, I think, for a Celine Phantom 2 years ago, 10 years ago. You know, so a lot of money, So yeah, the cost isn't lost on me. And even pre-loved, like I said, you're paying about £1,000 for a pretty decent condition one, not even a perfect condition one. They can go anywhere up to sort of 1,500, 2 grand in some instances I've seen. So yeah, I think this would be a really nice addition to my collection because I love the aesthetic. I'm not put off by a lot of the other things that people are put off by, and I would benefit from the fact that they don't hold their value. That's why I love the pre-love market, and I love the fact that as someone with a more niche sense of style, someone who's not afraid to explore with colour, pattern, print, texture, you know, you can pick up fantastic deals because, in my opinion, a lot of the time, people don't know what they've got. As we're so used to classics being pushed and this thought about timelessness and the pieces that that's associated with, people often don't know the value of some of the niche pieces that they've got that are these pops of colour, these seasonal pieces, these limited editions. They're not always appreciated like they should be, which I feel sad for the piece when it's in that person's wardrobe, particularly if they paid full retail, but I don't feel sad for me when I get to pick it up at an amazing deal. You know, an example being my Trippy Tiger Bayswater that I bought over 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago. I paid £180. Amazing. This now, if this were to launch today, 1,400. Easy. And I know pre-loved Mulberry doesn't really hold its value, but that, in the condition that I got it in, because the condition is really something special, for the age of the piece, I reckon that would cost £600-700. But someone has devalued the fact that it's Mulberry, and the fact that it's fabric, and the fact that it's tiger print, blue tiger print. But that is a limited edition collection. Someone underestimated the value of that. And they do that with, and you know, that happens with a lot of pieces. So I'm okay to benefit from that. I'm hoping that when I do eventually stop talking about buying a Celine Phantom and actually go and buy one, I you know, pick a great one and absolutely love it. I'm not going to go for a luggage tote, and I'm not going to go for a trapeze. For a while I was debating, do I go for those instead? I don't need the shoulder strap. I prefer the size of the Phantom, and it's the one I've had my heart set on. So rather than settling, although it would be less expensive to go for a luggage tote and even less expensive to go for a trapeze, they're not what I want. Maybe I'll buy the Phantom, decide I love the style, and go for the others as a little bit of a same but different sort of collection that I use. Fantastic if that's the case, but I think I need to go all in with the Phantom, buy one that I love. I've been thinking about it for a long time. That needs to be my next purchase. So there we are, everyone. That is what I'm thinking. Tell me what your thoughts are on this. Do you think that I should go for a Phantom? Do you like that bag? Do you not? You know, have you ever owned one? Do you know someone who owns one? Would love to know what you're thinking. Thank you so much as always for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.